Well, hello. Well, it's Thursday night, and this is the night when I do my series of What Now? So, different things that you have in your studio, and somewhere along the line, somebody's told you to get it, or I've told you to get it. So, in any event, that's when I come on, and on Thursday nights, I focus on a certain product that's in the catalog, whether it's in the annual catalog or the mini catalog. So, welcome to Stampin' with Diane. I'm Diane Evans, and I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So, if this is your first time joining me, and especially if you've joined me on YouTube, make sure that you do subscribe. You'll get notified when I do go live. And another thing that happens too is that you do get notified of all the other times that I go and I stream. So, today we're doing another thing with a product that we've used before, but this is such a neat technique, and I have to thank Kathy for basically reminding me about this technique. This is something I had done quite a few years ago in my club class, and you tend to forget about those types of different things. So today what we're going to do is we are playing with stamp pads. And by playing with stamp pads, we are going to do a technique that's called a bouquet technique. Now, what bouquet means is it means a blurred vision, or it's a Japanese term, and it's a photography term, and it's a blurred, like where it's blurry, and it gives kind of an illusion where you've got the background of your stamp or your picture that just is all completely out of focus. So on an iPhone, how you can get that effect with that blurred thing is by going to a portrait. And apparently you can do that with an Android phone as well, but I'm not sure how to do it. Anyways, without keep going on about this sort of stuff, I'm going to go down. Hello. So, anyways, like I say, I do not know who you are if you're not joining me off my Facebook page, or you haven't allowed SteamYard to basically give the information to SteamYard. So hello. So we are playing with the Whisper White stamp pad. We are also going to play with the Pear Pizzazz, Pool Party, maybe some Coastal Cabana. Now, the way that you get this craft stamp pad nowadays is you get this a blank stamp pad, and then you get a re-inker. I've got the old one, and trust me, this is one technique that I don't mind playing with it, the old stamp pad, because just in case if I do wreck it, I don't want to get that kind of ink on there. So I am going to bring in, and of course you can kind of tell what my color theme is going to be here. So let me just bring in my paper, and I'm hoping that I get the look that I want to get on here. All right, so I have some Pool Party. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4.25. So I just want to go in and get a really good crisp fold on there. And then I have a piece of Pear Pizzazz, or I have a piece of soft seafoam. Now, I happen to love these two colors together. These are actually my bathroom colors, but these colors I love together, but I am using the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to see what looks best once I play with this basic white. And this basic white is 3.75 by 5 inches. So it's very technical. You have certain tools that basically that we're going to use. I am going to use my blending brushes, and let's see, we're going to see how this works anyways. So I've got my Pear Pizzazz, and I have my Pool Party. Yes, Rose, I love these colors as well. All right, so when I do this, I use the lid, because I like it to be not in a real definite circle with it, so it tends to mute it out a little bit. So I'm just going to ink this up. How you spell this technique is Bokeh, and like I say, it's called Bouquet. And I went on I had to go on the internet and I had to go through the how to pronounce it because I didn't want to get it wrong for tonight. And then I'm going to come in with my Pear Pizzazz. And this one's going to be a little bit darker because it's like I used an ink pad in there. But these colors look so pretty together. Like I say, I haven't done this technique in ages, so. And you know, I'm going to come back in with some more Pool Party. And I guess too, at this point, I could turn around and I might use a tiny bit of Coastal Cabana on here as well. Let's use a bit more of the Pear Pizzazz. I did try using the soft sea foam on this particular on the colors, and it didn't work very well at all. So that's why it's so important that it was dark enough. And that's why I say I might put a tiny bit of Coastal Cabana on there. But see, we're kind of getting it kind of looking a bit like a blurred sort of background, but it's the next step that makes it the bouquet technique. So I actually have my Coastal Cabana here. And let's see how it's going to look. I don't want to get it too dark. You know, it's not really adding to it, so I think I'll just leave it. So let's go again. Like I say, I want it to be quite, not real dark, but kind of. All right. So I think I've got enough there. And this doesn't matter at this point whether or not if this is dried or not. And then what I've done is I have taken, and this is how you say it, I have taken a piece, just a scrap piece of basic white, and I have used my my layering circle dies, and I've just gone and cut some circles out. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm coming in with my basic white or my whisper white, and this is, see how it's quite dirty to begin with, this ink pad. Now I also have some ink in the lid, and I have a sponge and I have a dauber that is dedicated only to the basic white. I was going to use a blending brush, but when I wash those, I can't get in and dedicate them. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going in a circle. And when I originally did this particular technique, I did templates for everybody, and I did them out of window sheets. I found that the window sheets didn't allow the ink to dry. So consequently, you know, I'm going to get all three of these. It smeared a little bit. Not that this technique really matters. Some can actually get that white. We'll get a lot of that white here. And let's see. Let's see what we've got. Whoops. We want to keep this in that spot. You see now how it's starting to look like that blurred sort of effect. Now I want to get way more of that, and I want it to overlap a bit. Now, if I want, I could actually put some more ink in this lid, which probably I should have done. Let's see how that's looking. See how it's starting to look like a blurred out thing. Now, you know what? I am going to go in and I'm actually going to add some of this white re-inker on here because I want this to be a little bit darker. And I am going to have to dry this with my heat tool because This is a pigment ink, and a pigment ink takes a long time to dry. That's why you can emboss with this type of ink. There we go. Now, let's see. I think I should have some more on there. Now, one thing with the sponge dauber, I can just take my sponge dauber and just twist it on there. See how that's starting to look? Okay, and I want to get a big one right about there. I think that'll be good. And like I say, what's happening is this is getting all over my fingers. All right. So like I say, you can kind of see how that's going where it's blurry. And I don't think you can do this too much. So let me just go here and here. Now, if I use more vibrant colors, it would show up more, the white on there, but I wanted it to be quite subtle. So see how that is now giving a blurred effect. So what I'm going to do now, look at my hands, I'm going to take my heat tool. Now remember, there's two speeds on your heat tool. So what you want to do is you want to go on the lower heat, and then we're going to dry this because of what we're going to do. Now, if I decided that I wanted to go and emboss on here, like do the saying or whatever embossed on it, this would have to be really good and dry. So that's what I say. We want to make sure that this pigment ink is dry. Very subtle. See how that is? I have another one that I have done that I will be showing in just a later date. But yeah. So now at this point, I have to decide, do I want the soft sea foam? Hello. Like I say, I don't know who you are. If you haven't come in through my Facebook page. I know that sounds really silly, but that's the way that the StreamYard is set up. All right, so I'm hoping that that's dry. All right, so now the decision is, do I go with this one doesn't show up too much on there. So I think what I will do is I will go with the Pear Pizzazz. Yeah, that'll work. And then we're going to go with this here. And that's going to give us a bit of a look on there. Now, I think I might even go and do this as a landscape card. But I want to do this as a birthday card. So because it is still on that pigment ink, I want to make sure that this sentiment stamps really good and dark. So I'm just bringing in my Stamparatus because I may have to use it a couple of times. And I'm going to stamp this to see if I've got it straight to begin with. Oops. So let me just see if I've got this expression. And this happy birthday to you is from Best Year. Let's see how straight that is. Oh, that is not straight at all. That is the reason why we stamp it. All right, so let me just move this paper around so that I can see if it is straight. Yep, that's good. All right, so I happen to know where that's going. So I'm doing this as a landscape card. So I think I could put it down about there, I'm thinking. Doing a lot of by guess and by golly, right? No, I'm not using pastels. What I am doing is, this is called a Bokeh technique. And all I did was I used Pear Pizzazz and Pool Party ink, and I sponged it. And then I used this as a template, and then I used white craft ink. I'm hoping that this is going to be okay. Now I'm just going to go in and let me put this here and let's stamp. I'm really taking chances, aren't I? All right. Ooh, that's really close to the end there. So I'm just going to pull that over a little bit. Don't want it quite there. Well, let's just hope. As long as this paper is straight, we'll be okay. Because it's straight on that paper. There we go. Okay, so then all I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I've got this stamped. Now, that was pretty good actually, but I'm going to go in once more and let's just get that stamped so that there, that's a really good one. Like I say, this gives the blurred look that we've done this, and like it would be a lot. I probably should have shown you in the color that it was, like a darker color, but all right, so I'm just going to layer this onto here. So we're using stamp pads and the Whisper White Craft Pigment ink. I'll just put that up here so that you can see it. Now, I think too, I have come in and I brought in, and I die cut these ahead of time, was my Brilliant Wings. I thought, wow, this is kind of a good butterfly type card. And I have put this already onto adhesive sheets. I thought, you know, I kind of want this to just do it like this. But what I want to do is, that looks like that's a little uneven. I am just going to come in with my trimmer. When I do this with my trimmer, I always cringe because I don't know, once you start trimming there, that's okay. And then I'm going to come in also with my Pool Party ribbon. I haven't used this much, but it still is in the catalog. So I'm wondering if I should double this. You know, I'm just going to leave it one thing, and I'm going to come in with my, let's see. Just going to use my tear and tape to get my color on here. I mean my ribbon. It's such pretty ribbon. It's so delicate. That's what kind of makes this work out okay with this. So is that straight? No. I'm just going to make that straight. Cut that off. All right, and then we can go ahead and put this onto our Pool Party card, which is just a regular card base. And see, like I say, we're looking like it's blurred, right? Now, I'm going to come in and let's just, I want to reinforce that because I do not want it to come off. And then let's just glue this on. And I'll put a bow on it, I think, or a faux bow or something. But we'll go ahead and change that. If I don't get rid of that blob, it's going to come out to the other side. All right. Let's just put that in there. There we go. I think that piece of Pear Pizzazz was not cut properly. Okay, like I say, I did do the adhesive sheets. I did the adhesive sheets last week. Said I was going to do something else on the adhesive sheets. So let's just take that off. There's just a couple. And we'll just get that out. I should have tried this first. Okay, so we're just going to have this come like this. Now, probably I should have done it where I could have actually lifted some of this, these butterflies, but I think let's see, and then we'll put another one here. So it'll just go like this. And let's see, like this. All right. So I probably didn't need to use the adhesive there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my embossing buddy and I'm taking the stick away from there. You see how I did that? And then I'm just going to curl these leaves. And I really hope I have some black. And I don't have any of my black. Oh, I have a tiny piece here of my dimensionals. And let's just cut off a little strip of that. Now, is that going to be small enough? Probably not. So I'm just going to come and actually just trim some of this off. So I've got a little piece to put on that body part. And then it's this one. Now, I've got it de-stuck. What a good word, eh? With the embossing powder. But if I leave that emboss or that powder on there like it was, it would actually not stick this dimensional. So that's why I just rub some of that off. Like I say, we want to make sure that those wings are there. Let's go there. And then this one can go just like that. And you know what? I think I'm going to do the same with that one as well. So let me just take this adhesive sheet off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this embossing buddy. I'm going to do it onto the wings here. And I'm going to leave the sticky part there so that I can just leave that like that. There we go. All right, so let's go and let's put a bow on here. Like so. The key with bows, like I've said, I don't know how many times, is make sure it's good and tight. And then let's just trim this off. And we're going to put this right there. And I'm going to put that on with a glue dot as well. I'm going to say this looks kind of like the bathroom down here. All right, so just there. Put the glue dot on here. We can put the bow there. All right, now, do we want to put embellishments on there? I believe that we should. We have lots that we can do. So here are some for you. Do we want to do the black ones? Do we want to do rhinestones? Or do we want to do the faceted gems? So there's these ones. These ones or the rhinestones? What do you think? I'm just waiting for your answers there. So, rhinestones. Okay. I'm going to actually pull this guy up a little bit too. Faceted gems. Well, the faceted gems and the rhinestones are kind of the same. So if they were faceted gems, they look like that. So it would be like this. So you've all said different things. So there's the faceted gems. The rhinestones are so, and of course, well, the black is black. Oh my goodness. Well, these are one of my favorites, the faceted. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and put the faceted on there. There we go. All right. So like I say, that is called the Bokeh Technique. I'll show a card on the weekend that's a little bit darker than this. But see how it's kind of out of focus. Oops, that just like that. So it kind of gives you the illusion that that's a blurred background in any event. So, all right. So, if you're going to do something like this, make sure that you do something and use something totally different. Otherwise, what you're actually doing is sort of casing it. And I'm teaching a technique that I just want you to do your own thing with it. Like I say, this looks beautiful with pinks and yellows together. It looks great with other different colors together as well. But in any event, we'll see how that turns out after in a bit. We'll see what else I'm going to do. So I hope you enjoyed that. What now? Or now what? So at least it gives you something to do to use with your white craft pads and also your ink pads. Ink pads are not just for stamping images with. Make sure you use them with your blending brushes, and you tend to get a lot of different ideas and everything else that flows with it. Make sure you share the video. This will be on my YouTube channel anyways. And oh, good. I'm glad. Like I say, it doesn't quite show up as much. I'll just bring that back up. It doesn't quite show up as much as it did before, but you can see where it is blurred because of that white pigment ink. All right. Well, you guys have a great evening, and we will see you on Saturday is World Card Making Day. If you have not joined our World Card Making group, make sure that you do. It is a free event. Melba and I are going on there from 1 to 5. We're going to be, I can tell you there's going to be 4 different challenges. There's prizes for the different challenges. And there's also, there's, oh, thank you. Yeah, do make sure that you try it. Oh, you're from Victoria. Thanks, Lynn. But with World Card Making Day, like I say, it's from 1 to 5. We're doing 4 different challenges. Melba's making 2 cards, and I'm showing 2 cards using the same challenge. And then I'm making 2 cards, and she has cards that are made with whatever. Debbie, with my it's funny you say there must be a manual. It's funny because with my club classes, I used to there was always a technique every club, and they got a book and everything else. But things like that are kind of outdated because of stamp sets that were used and that sort of stuff. I'm thinking very seriously of starting a club up again. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, you guys have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon. Oh, also Saturday, I am still doing my sketch challenge at 10 o'clock. And World Card Making Day is at 1. And then I've got another link for other World Card Making Day from 24 Hours of Cards. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Bye.